We are live. Hello, everyone. I'm Felipe Hoffa, Data Cloud Advocate for Snowflake, and today I'm here with my awesome teammates, Eva Murray and Danielle Myers. I let them introduce themselves. Eva, would you like to start?
Sure. Hi, Felipe. Hi, everyone. My name is Eva Murray. I'm a senior evangelist with Snowflake here for the EMEA region based in London. Good to see you both.
Awesome. Yeah. And I'm Daniel Myers, developer relations here at Snowflake. And same, I'm really excited about what we're talking about today, Powered By. And because, what I care about and what I talk about all the time is developers. So it's cool to see, us doing that.
The Powered by Snowflake program. That sounds cool. Like the light you have behind you. That's a snowflake powered by electricity. Um, should
And
we get into our topic? Yes, please.
yeah, I mean, so what's cool about the Powered by Snowflake program, right? It is designed from the bottom up specifically for developers and companies building applications with and on top of Snowflake, right? So essentially, if they're using Snowflake as a core part of their tech stack and the product that they're building is consumer or B2B facing, right? So it's a new use case or a different use case than some other companies that are using Snowflake today, and it's cool to see what's all entailed in this program. Um, you know, Felipe, what have you seen, right, as a data cloud advocate, right, as some of your favorite companies that are building on Snowflake today?
Oh, wow. So the first name that comes to mind is Observe. And I love how when we did our Build Summit a couple of weeks ago, we had James Governor as our super stellar guest speaker. And he went through the whole world of how is the industry going right now. And for example, he focused on observability. And for observability, he highlighted one of the newest entrants into this world, which is Observe. And Observe is a new take on observability, and they are powered by Snowflake. And it's amazing to see how we grow the data cloud in this way, how we empower other companies to do better. So
Exactly.
we're building a cloud for others to build on.
Exactly. I could not agree more. And I think Observe is one of those companies that's building an incredibly powerful tool. And as the concept of data observability grows and matures, right? I think a platform like that is going to be incredibly valuable and necessary for a lot of businesses. Um, you know, so one of the cool things about the Powered By program are the benefits that you get from it, right? And so a great example is Observe, right? So they're a member of the Powered By program and actually one of the launch partner members for it. And so some of the cool things that you get when you join the Powered By program is things like direct access to Snowflake experts here at Snowflake, right? So you're able to join these workshops, leverage our growing library of self-serve resources that are specifically built and written for companies that are building apps on Snowflake. And so you're able to build your application faster within this program. The other is growing your business itself. So joint go-to-market activities with Snowflake, different joint marketing activities, and these joint campaigns really. So it's across the board. How can we help you grow your data application business with Snowflake? And really, the third big bucket for members of the Powered By program is you get access to specialized support engineers from Snowflake that have backgrounds building apps on Snowflake. So you're able to more rapidly resolve issues and optimize performance of your applications with this special Powered by Snowflake support engineering team. So it's really cool, and so you'll actually see here like what you have up right now is one of our launch blog posts about it, talking all about, we actually announced this at our Data Cloud Summit back in June. And the number of members here are growing rapidly. And it's one of those things where you can apply, and the biggest real requirement is, are you building an application on Snowflake? And so it's really cool to see how fast it's growing, and all the awesome use cases that people are using Snowflake for today.
So Dan, can I jump in, because I would love for us to define what does it mean to build an application on Snowflake? Because I think there are a lot of organizations doing really incredible things with their data, but can you define, like, where's the boundary between you're using data and you're building great things on Snowflake and then building applications on Snowflake?
Yeah, I love that question, right? So kind of at the end of the day, what is the definition of a data application, right? And so I think there's a few ways to look at it, right? But at the end of the day, the way I see it is data apps it's a lens onto what you see as the core value of your application. So in my opinion, data is immensely valuable. And as your application grows, the amount of data that you're ingesting, the amount of data that you're manipulating, transforming grows along with it. And really the value of that data continues to grow with more usage of your app, right? So it doesn't matter what format the data is in or how you're transforming it, right? So what matters is that the data that you are leveraging and using grows in value. And then the two is really, as your data intense apps grow, you need a platform that can help scale, right? From 0-day launch to many petabytes, right? And Snowflake is able to help you do that. And then so some use cases that we've seen for data applications, right? So kind of concrete use cases here, so things like Customer 360, right? So applications that leverage customer data to either improve the product or have recommendations for what they should buy, for example. IoT is another really big one, right? So millions or billions of devices are ingesting even more data points on a daily, hourly, or minute basis, right? And being able to ingest that data, analyze it, and take action on that data. And for this program, Powered By Program, right? Is this application that you're building, is it consumer facing or is it B2B facing, right? Or is it more of a tool that's used internally at your company for different elements, right? So I think that's how I define it. A data app is really any app, right? And it becomes more and more of a data app the more data that you are leveraging in it.
Yes. So this is a frequent question I hear from our partners, customers, or people that are thinking about building with the Snowflake. They debate, should we, in our app, in the platform we are building, should we should this app talk directly to Snowflake, or should we add a layer in between for caching? How is that decision made?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question, and we actually have some various reference architectures that we recommend to customers and partners, right? Mm-hmm. There's a hybrid approach that is used, that's leveraged a lot in the industry today, where if your application will have a few different elements within its stack, right? You have the app tier. Maybe that's the actual front end of your web app or the app that's running on your mobile phones, right? Then you have kind of the web tier, right? So providing some custom logic, application logic, and then you have kind of your data or database tier, right? That is storing, managing, analyzing, querying the data, so Snowflake fits within this tech stack as within that data layer, right? And it's actually we're kind of bridging actually part of the app tier with things like Snowpark, right? where you can bring compute closer to the data, running directly on with UDFs and things like that directly on Snowflake. So to answer your question, where does it sit? I mean, it kind of, a lot of times you'll see this multi-layered approach in your application architecture to handle these types of scaling.
Nice. Makes a lot of sense. Let's go back to the Powered By program. So you decided to build this, and as you were saying, when you're building, Snowflake is ready to support you. And as we say here in the Powered by Snowflake, you can leverage design resources from Snowflake. We are going to drive awareness and adoption by co-marketing with Snowflake so we can help others. And you get to work with our support engineers to optimize because they specialize on app development. That's really, really cool.
Yeah. And I think it's one of the most powerful, actually valuable things that for startups today, for example, especially our self-serve step-by-step guides. You can actually see some of them on quickstarts.snowflake.com, right? So and on there you'll see, for example, some pretty cool ones like building a recommendation engine, kind of a very similar to that of like Netflix, for example, where we use the movie lens data set. We're able to score and provide a recommendation engine of what movies you might want to go look at and watch directly on Snowflake. So it's pretty cool. So exactly, you have them listed here. And a lot of these are great for our Powered By customers and partners because of the topics that they cover.
That's really cool.
And the other thing is this page right here is kind of the home page of the Powered by Snowflake program, right? So if you're not already a member, you can apply right there and be able to see some of the benefits, some of the existing members of the program, things like Observe that we already talked about, Aladdin by BlackRock, which is an amazing platform, and Lacework, VideoAmp, and others, right? So a lot of these are really cool companies that are building these pretty awesome applications on Snowflake.
Nice to see Adobe here.
Yeah. Adobe is also one of the members of the program, so yeah, I think this is one of those things where I think the sooner that people join, the sooner that they actually are able to experience the benefits of the program, right? And they can really kind of operationalize around some of the benefits that they receive.
Okta is here too. Eva.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I'm jumping on this word experience because what I'm curious to hear from probably both of you is, for a developer who is developing these applications, what would you say is a difference they will experience? Like what can they expect, and what will their developer experience look like when they start working in a Snowflake environment?
Yeah, great question. I mean, so I love the term developer experience because it's core to my heart and making it as easy as possible, right? So I think one of my personal goals for the developer experience on Snowflake is time to hello world, right? So it's the concept of, if you've never used Snowflake before, or maybe you've heard of it and you've played around with it a little bit, the time to hello world is that point of where I want to just get something. I want to just make sure my environment's set up and I can run hello world equivalent on Snowflake. So the shorter that we can make that time to hello world, the better, right? Because it's a way to educate and learn more about Snowflake. The other is learning about some of the best practices for Snowflake, right? And so, especially if you haven't used Snowflake in some of these different use cases, it might be one of those things where you're not sure how it should be used, because there's so many different ways that Snowflake can be used today, so many different use cases and architectures. There's some that work better than others, and from that we've seen in our own experience, and having worked with other customers. So it's cool to see that you'll get access to things like reference architectures within this program as well.
So let's talk a little bit about joining the program. Anyone that's interested in bringing their app, their company, um, adding their logo to a growing list. Like we don't have all the logos here. Those were the starting ones. It's a list that grows and grows and grows. And how would you get started?
Yeah, right there. Perfect. So the first step really is simply to register, right? So when you join the program and you apply, one of the things that we ask for is the actual account. So like as a customer of Snowflake, you can have multiple accounts, and you can create different ones for different things within your company, right? So we do ask, for example, that if you have a specific account for the app that you're building, right, supply that. And that because for example, that specialized support will look at and be able to see those different accounts and help you on those accounts. And you can see here all of the different partner programs that we have, and Powered by Snowflake is right there on the right side. And so so if you are a data partner, technology partner, or service partner, right, you can, and you're building a consumer or customer facing application that runs on Snowflake, you want to supply those specific Snowflake accounts so we can see which ones need that specialized Powered by Snowflake support. And then after you actually join the program, right, you want to start building your application in that account. And so from there, you can start to get some of those benefits, such as the customer experience, and accelerating time to market. So like one of the cool ways that we do a joint go to market is actually through our Powered by Snowflake interviews on YouTube. And this is where you'll actually see me interviewing various companies in the program to talk about their product, how exactly they're leveraging Snowflake within their product, and how and why they actually chose Snowflake to be powered by, right? This is a cool one for Mozart Data. And I love the name because it's kind of an orchestration, right? And data orchestration in a modern data stack with Snowflake. So it's cool to see just kind of the demo that they have there, and where and how they're leveraging Snowflake, what features and things like that.
Nice. So yes, they get to show up with you and promote what they're doing and talk about how they're building with Snowflake.
Exactly. So it's cool to see, and I think when you go through these getting started steps, right, you'll get introduced to different people at Snowflake that can help you along this journey. And once you become a Powered by Snowflake partner, you can be even eligible to, as you grow and as your business grows with Snowflake, the number of benefits that you get as well will grow, right? So you kind of you grow with time with Snowflake.
So there are tiers of partners.
There are, and so there's different criteria to be in different tiers, but as you grow, at the end of the day, as you grow with Snowflake has a vested interest in helping you grow, and we do that together.
And from what I've seen, I mean, there's the technology enabling people to just really let their ideas loose and see what comes from it and really develop those great applications. But then also I imagine that kind of cross-pollinates or inspires the others as well. But it also inspires us, and it's a good way for us to continue putting into the product things that help these organizations develop more apps and different apps and find different use cases. So it's a really good way, in my opinion, for organizations to work with us really closely and with people like you, Dan, and I've experienced myself how cool it is to get to work with the developers at the vendor side, so that you can have an input into that product development process. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what more comes out of this, because it's been a fairly recent launch. So there's a really good time now to jump on board, right? For people to sign up and be part of this.
Absolutely. And I think one of the You mentioned working with developers, and I think in this program, one of the cool things, part of the reason why we saw the need to create this program is because companies and developers building apps on Snowflake have distinctly different needs and requirements from Snowflake, the product, than other types of use cases, right? Things like high concurrency, low latency, and different elements where we have, all sorts of different features and capabilities specifically tailored and built for companies that are leveraging Snowflake as a core part of their customer-facing application. So it's exciting to see as we grow this, all those use cases from developers.
Yeah. High concurrency and low latency. I like those words and how we adapt to their world.
Absolutely.
What they need. So I see that you have 4 videos already published. I think there are more coming.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Yeah.
we are, constantly adding more. And there's we actually have a whole studio at our headquarters in our San Mateo office, and so it's exciting and pretty cool to see.
Anything interesting that you learned talking to all these companies?
I think one of the biggest things that I've learned that's been really interesting is the features, the most used features of Snowflake by these companies, right? So the ability to data share is actually is a common theme that I've seen across all of these companies, and it's really so with data sharing and having a data application, customer facing data application. What that means is that the customer of the Powered By partner for Snowflake, they themselves have a Snowflake account that they have their data in, right? So if they want to in the future leverage other data from Snowflake's data marketplace, for example, right? And then also have that data living in the Powered By Snowflake customer partners account as well, they can share that data back and forth, right? So I've seen data sharing as a core element of a lot of these companies, and really a lot of that comes from the zero copy cloning function of Snowflake, where they can be able to do that in a cost efficient way.
Yes, cloning is so cool. Like in Snowflake, the ability to just split a table in two, like immediately, and be able to evolve it in parallel just to test different stuff. It's
Totally
an
agree,
amazing feature.
and it's interesting to see how a lot of these features of Snowflake for these companies building on Snowflake really, when used together, the powerful nature of them. So, for example, right, when you share data, and let's take a step back, and a lot of times traditionally before Snowflake, you would have to create an API layer to access and grant specific access to different things within the data, right? And so which just adds more complexity when the customer or consumer of that data then has to create many times their own client library to interface with that REST API. And then they have to transform the responses of the REST API into their own data and store that, in whatever platform that they're using there, right? This just eliminates the need for that, and you can just directly share that data, right? And so I would say this is one of the most powerful things today for a lot of these companies.
Nice.
That's really cool. And we'll have to wrap up. But to wrap up, I do want to call out Snow Day that we have coming up. So if Felipe can briefly bring that up on the screen before we close.
What is a Snow Day?
Yeah, Snow Day. That's our view ahead. So everyone should join that to hear more about our roadmap. So we've got 16th of November for North America, and then EMEA and Asia Pacific on the 17th of November. So it's not far away. Make sure to join and register for that.
Yes, we don't like pre-announcing things in these live videos, but we are going to announce a lot on November 16th. It's going to be really cool.
So make sure to be part of that. And with that, I think we'll close it out. Thank you both, Felipe and Dan, for the conversation. Dan, thanks for sharing all that knowledge. It's been really good, and I think there's plenty more we can talk about in the future to come.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Cool.
Let's bring more partners.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, guys, and thanks everyone who tuned in. We'll post the links afterwards.
Dankeschön. See ya.
Ciao.
Oh, I need to end this. But where is my ending video? There you are.